Prince Harry could use diplomatic exemption to avoid quarantine ahead of Philip's funeral. Prince Harry may be allowed to use a diplomatic exemption to avoid the normal COVID quarantine when he jets to the UK from the US to attend Prince Philip's funeral, according to reports. The Duke of Sussex is widely expected to make the 5,460-mile journey by private jet ahead of the ceremonial funeral for his grandfather. While the full details of the funeral arrangements have yet to be released by Buckingham Palace, leaked information on the government's website suggests the ceremony will take place next Saturday. Harry, 36, is not expected to be joined by Meghan, 39, when he flies in for the somber affair, as she is heavily pregnant with their second baby, a girl. Under the government's COVID travel rules, overseas arrivals have to quarantine for 10 days after touching down in England. But the Duke is understood to be permitted to use a diplomatic exemption to waive the self-isolation requirement, according to the Daily Mail. Reports suggest Harry would take a COVID test before boarding a plane in California and another one upon arrival in Britain. Travelers in quarantine are permitted to be released 5 days after arriving in the UK if they test negative for the virus. Harry was last pictured alongside his grandfather in May 2019 as he and Meghan introduced their newborn son Archie to his great-grandparents. Later that year the Sussexes opted to spend Thanksgiving and Christmas in Canada instead of the traditional royal celebration with family members at Sandringham. After jetting to the Great White North in late 2019 with Archie, the couple returned twice to the UK the following year to announce their departure from royal life and carry out their final engagements. However, they left their son behind on both occasions. This means that the last time Philip saw Archie would have been in late 2019. Philip, 99, likely made his own funeral plans, which will now have to be revised due to the coronavirus pandemic. Given his age, the detailed plans for what should happen after Philip's passing, code-named Operation Forth Bridge, have been in place for years. The College of Arms said the funeral plans were in line with custom and with His Royal Highness's wishes. They added that the public are regretfully asked not to attend Philip's funeral due to the pandemic. The college, which helps to organize state occasions, said the Queen's husband will not have a state funeral and there will be no lying in state. They said the prince will lie at rest in Windsor Castle before a ceremonial funeral at St. George's Chapel. The honor of a lying in state was bestowed upon the last 3 sovereigns consorts, including the Queen Mother in 2002. An estimated 200,000 members of the public queued to pay their respects over 3 days at Westminster Hall. Shortly after the news broke on Friday afternoon, mourners began arriving at Windsor Castle to lay flowers and pay their respects. Flags will fly at half-mast on government buildings from now until 8 a.m. on the day of the funeral. Buckingham Palace is expected to announce the full details of Philip's funeral. The No. 10 official website accidentally let slip the planned date, Saturday, April 17. A statement carried on the gov.uk website read, on April 9, 2021, Buckingham Palace announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh. From this date, a period of national mourning began and will continue for 8 days until the morning of the funeral. During that time the government will issue guidance for the public, organizations and businesses for observing the period of mourning. on the day of the funeral. Buckingham Palace is expected to announce the full details of Philip's funeral. The No. 10 official website accidentally let slip the planned date, Saturday, April 17. A statement carried on the gov.uk website read, "On April 9, 2021, Buckingham Palace announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh." From this date, a period of national mourning began and will continue for 8 days until the morning of the funeral. During that time the government will issue guidance for the public, organizations and businesses for observing the period of mourning.